So we have started with the topic that is technology examples, wherein we are seeing that how cloud computing, or you can say workload balancing or virtualization, is used over the network. So we are moving to the fourth example, that is your cloud usage monitor. Okay, so the word itself is self-explanatory if you see. So it usually means whatever you are using, like cloud computing works on the concept that is pay per use. Whatever you are using, you are going to pay for that. So for monitoring that how many you have, whatever you have used, whatever services you have opted for how many months, week, or for hours on a per daily wise you are using, that will be monitored, and accordingly the billing will take place. So cloud usage monitor simply here refers to that there is going to be a lightweight software which is going to be installed and which is going to take care of all the IT resources which you are going to use, which you are going to use as a service, hourly basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, whatever plan you have opt from your cloud provider. Accordingly, whatever is your usage or your counting is there or billing is there will be monitored by this software. So basically, if we talk about cloud usage monitor, they can be existing in different formats. Whatever formats you want, you can have it. But the main agents are there in this cloud usage monitor, which helps you to simplify, you can say, the processing. So what are this? We are going to look into this one by one. So for now, you just, in short, you have to just remember that cloud users monitor is nothing but a software which is being used and which will help you to collect the information that this consumer is using this IT resources. This is so far the data consumed. This is the amount of the billing so far. So all your usage will be monitored. It is going to be calculated and the billing structure will be ready. Okay, so in this there are some agents which are playing important role. The very first is monitoring agent. Okay, so if I talk about monitoring agent, it is the agent which is going to monitor all your activities, whatever services you have opt for, whatever path you have selected, whatever communication mechanism you have selected, whatever services you are opting for, when you have started the services, when you have turn off the services, what services you have taken, which services is asked by you. So everything is going to be monitored. Your every activity of what you are doing over the cloud with respect to services, whatever model means you are selecting. For example, if I'm selecting software as a service, so my monitoring agent is going to keep track of all the software activities which we are doing, what softwares I have opened, what is my starting time, what is my ending time. So everything is going to be monitored. All the flow of the data will be captured, and accordingly the billing will take place. Okay, so basically your monitoring agent is going to measure everything, what network traffic you are going to take, what messages metrics you are doing, what services you are using, what time you're starting the services, at what time you are ending the services. So that is all about your monitoring agent. Next, you can see there is a diagrammatic representation. Like you have your cloud service consumers, you have your monitoring agent, you have your log database, and you have your cloud services. So the first arrow, the first message which is going, it is nothing but a message which is being, the monitoring agent is, sending the message to collect the data, that what services you have used so far, what services you have taken, how many you have used it. So that is your one. Okay. Second, it is help when once you're moving to the next level. Okay, that is your 3A, you can say. So it is going to check for all the cloud services which you have asked for, and it is going to check against the usage activity which you have done so far. Okay, then in 3A you can see the monitoring agent is going to collect all the data, and this data is going to be saved into your log database, which will tell you that this term you have logged in, you have started this services this point of time. So everything is going to be recorded into your log database. 3B is something where the cloud service is going to reply with a response message which tells you that yeah, this all acknowledgement have been saved in the databases successfully according to the usage record and whatever you have services you have used so far. Next, 4, the data is then again sent back to the cloud service consumer, and it is going to be monitored by your monitoring agent. And the last is the acknowledgement that all the services have been recorded. So whenever you are talking about monitoring agent, it undergoes with this series of steps. Okay, where there will be one cloud consumer and cloud provider is going to be there. The service provider is going to be there. That is going to be always constant. Log database will help you to log all the information related to your logging activities, tracking of your services, tracking of your data, how you have used. And monitoring agent is going to keep track of each and every activities which is monitoring and checking against the database which is saving those activities. So there is going to be a complete monitoring of your activity with the help of your cloud monitoring agent, and that is your cloud usage monitor. We'll move to the next now. So we are moving to the second agent, that is resource agent. Okay. So if I talk about resource agent, the word itself again is self-explanatory here, which says that all your resources which you want for your interactions with respect to your softwares are going to be taken care by your resource agent. So basically, this agent is going to take care of all the resources which is required by you for proper working or functioning of your softwares will be taken care by this agent. Okay, so basically it is going to monitor the whatever the resources you want with respect to softwares. That can be like initiating, resuming, or you can say suspending anything which you want to do or which you want to perform over your services. Then you can do it, and that can be done with the help of resource agent. So basically it is a processing module. Okay, again this is going to collect the data, but collection of the data will be on the basis of whatever resources you have asked for, whatever resources have been given to you, and whatever you are using those resources, the way it is going to keep track of that. Okay, so whenever you are initiating your resources, the counter will begin. Okay, in meanwhile if you are suspending, then it will stop. If you are resuming, then again it is going to start. So basically whatever resources you are going to use, that is going to be processed, and everything of your usage is going to be managed and tracked by this resource agent. Okay, so in your screens you can see the diagram. There is a cloud consumer. Okay, there is a virtual server. There is a software which is running, okay, which is doing the monitoring activity, which was your previous software monitoring agent. This monitoring agent is connected to the resource agent. So whatever is activities are being monitored, it is going to also check against all the resources which you have used so far, whatever software you have asked, whenever you have initiated, you have resumed, or you have suspended, all the resources are going to be there, and everything is going to be at the end will be saved into your log database. All the data which is successful are going to be saved on the log database, and in this log database you are going to do the calculation. The billing is actually going to take place as per the data which is saved into your log database. Remember this. So the cloud consumers are finally going to pay on the basis of all the information which is saved in the log database, and accordingly they have to do the billing. Okay, so you can see there is a cloud consumer, there is a virtual server which is being connected. This virtual server is being connected with a monitoring agent as well as resource agent. These both agents are going to keep track of all the services and activities, and all the resources which you have asked for, that are also going to be tracked, because it is cloud usage monitor. So whatever services you are using, that is going to be monitored, and accordingly the counting will take place and the billing process will start. Okay, so at the end you can see in all the agent there is going to be a log database, because all the changes, all the successful reads and writes are going to be saved here, and the billing will be take place with the results with this which is saved into your log database. Okay, so before next we are moving to the polling agent, which is the third agent. So the third one is your polling agent. Okay. So basically, when you talk about what polling means, what the word polling simply refers that it is going to send some polling messages to check whether your network is alive or not. So same as here, which is going to apply here. Basically, this polling agent is going to, check the status of the cloud services, like whether it is alive or not. It will keep sending request and response messages to make sure that the status is alive or not, just the way we do the polling over the network. Like once we do the polling, we check the status of the network, whether it is alive or not. So similarly, here also the polling agent is again a processing module, and whatever cloud service usage which are going to be monitored, like all the IT resources which are giving are being given as a services to you, it is going to keep checking its status, because it is a network, right? So there is a possibility that at some point of time your network may be down due to any reasons. There will, due to interferences, your network can be down. So polling agent here will do what? It will keep sending request messages, and as soon as it gets the response back, it is going to acknowledge. Okay, so here there can be polling cycles, like you can just send it like with some intervals of the time. You can keep the messages, and the main reason of polling agent here is just to check your cloud service monitor is up or not, or it's alive or not. So basically it is going to do that. So here again in your diagrams, you can see your cloud consumers are there. You have your virtual agent through which you're going to get the cloud services. There is going to be a polling agent, which is going to be keep sending the request and response messages. Okay. And if it doesn't get any response, then again after some point of time, it is going to send another message. Okay. And accordingly, it is going to report what is the usage status. Like B has so far consumed this status. A has consumed so far this status. So it is going to keep, sending the notification messages, and it is going to record the status, and same the updates will be same into a log database. That same happens with us also, like whenever we are like, consuming our mobile data. So we also get usually messages like you have consumed so far this data and this is left. So this is also going to be take care by your polling agent. So it is not going to just take care of uptime and downtime of the monitors, but it is also going to keep track that so far this usage has been covered and this is something which is left to do. So that is all about your polling agent. So you have to remember there are three agents here which are working together and which is helping to provide you the cloud usage monitoring. Monitoring agent, resource agent, and polling agent. So next topic we have is resource replication. Next, we are moving to the fifth type of example under technology examples, that is your resource replication. Okay, so basically the word itself, resource replication, means what? Whenever you are replicating, whenever you are, or you can say duplicating your resources, then it is called as resource replication. Okay, so whenever you are creating multiple instances of the same IT resources, that is usually called as replication. Okay, whenever you want to use resources at multiple places, then what do we basically do? Rather than giving the reference of the original resource, we start creating the replication of that same resource, and then we try to connect with it. So that is basically the technique which is used over the network just to increase the availability and performance of the overall working of the services, because everything is over the cloud in your cloud computing. Okay, and there are many virtual servers which are connected, there are many hypervisors, so we can't use same resources again and again. So the basic idea here is what you're going to replicate the same resources, and these resources are going to be located near to the virtual servers to enhance the performance and availability. Okay, the virtualization is something which has made the resource replication very much easy, because you have your virtual servers. With this virtual servers, you can easily create a virtual image. Okay, and with this virtual image, you can replicate the IT resources. So it has become very much easy. So you can see over your diagrams, you have your three virtual servers. These virtual servers are connected with hypervisors, because hypervisors are important to do the managing of VMs. Okay, these are then connected to the physical servers, because your virtual servers will always need a reference of physical servers. Okay, these physical servers are connected with the cloud storage devices. All your storage mechanisms are there, which can be in the file form, it can be in the table form, it can be in the block form. Everything which is there is going to be stored here. Okay, so here whatever resources which are there, you can replicate that resources. Okay, by just creating a virtual server image. So once you have created a virtual server image, you can use that with the help of the hypervisors. It can be shared across the different platforms easily. So here you can see into your diagrams, your hypervisor is replicating a virtual server, and with the help of the virtual server images, because all your data, all your IT resources are usually saved into your virtual servers. And if you're creating multiple virtual servers, it becomes very easy to replicate the IT resources, because your virtual servers have different resources. They have different applications, platforms, which is saved into your virtual servers. So you need to replicate your virtual servers, and you can store these virtual servers as different location, and you can provide availability and you can provide performance. Okay, it is just like you have your main server and you have many sub servers connected to different locations. So why do we have multiple sub servers? The reason, we want to increase the availability, we want to increase the performance of the system. That is why we usually have sub servers. The same concept applies here, where you have multiple virtual servers and you are replicating this virtual servers with the different applications. So I don't know how many of you must have install VMware. So in VMware also we do the same thing. Once you have your one VM created, we can share or we can replicate that same VM in different other machines as well. Okay, so that is usually called as resource replication. You are creating resource once and you are replicating, you can say, or duplicating the same resources at multiple places. So it is like, it is minimizing your efforts, it is minimizing your times. One resources can be reused at multiple places without many, you can say, efforts. So that is all about your resource replication. So we are moving to the last example of technology, that is ready-made environment. Okay. So if I talk about what ready-made, it simply refers that your environment is ready. Okay. All your platforms are placed at one place, all your softwares are placed at one place, or infrastructure are placed at one place. Everything is ready. Ready-made environment simply refers to that everything what you require is ready-made or readily available for you. All that thing is that you have to ask for the services whatever you want to ask. Like if you want to go for a pass, then you can go for a platform as a service, SaaS, and so on. Okay, so basically ready-made environment simply refers that your cloud delivery models which are there are already ready-made. All your IT resources are installed, and according to the customer's requirement you can do the customization. Like customer says I want this add-on software, or it says I want this platform also, I want to add this to my infrastructure. So everything, your platforms are already ready, but any customization if it is required, then that can be done as per the customer's choices or consumer choices. Okay, so basically these ready-made environments are very much helpful whenever you want to do the deployment in a lesser time, whenever you want to deploy, or you can use the service or application quickly without wasting much time, or you don't want any overhead on your end to install the software, run the software, then in that case ready-made environment are very much helpful. Okay, so most of the cloud providers which are there, no, they usually have a ready-made environment with them. Like they will have everything already set up, and they will just take, and a few questionnaires from the consumer just to ask them what services they want, and they will either add those services or either they will remove those services depending on whatever choices the consumer make for it. Okay, so basically, in ready-made environments, you will have all your pre-installed IT resources. You have your middlewares, you will have your databases, you will have your platforms, you have everything already there into it. Okay. Only once you have to just ask the cloud consumer that these are what are the things which are going to required by you in terms of your softwares or applications or platforms, and accordingly you are going to check whether that is available into your ready-made environment or not. If that is available, then directly you can give that environment to your consumer without wasting much time, or if there are any changes to be done, then you can make the changes and then give that environment to the consumer. So with this ready-made environment, it becomes very much easy for the consumer and for the provider to give quick services to their consumers or customers, and this was actually helpful for both of them as well. Okay, so in your ready-made environment, when you talk about software as a service, you will have all the softwares, you have your all SDK files, you will have all your programmatic accesses, you will have different technologies, you will have your programming stacks or blocks which are available. Everything is going to be ready-made available. So here you can see in your example that we have taken an example here. We have a cloud consumer, which is your end user. You have your cloud consumer again, which is a developer. Okay, and you have your big cloud, you can say, where all your services are being provided. Okay, so there can be a front end services, there can be a back end services. So your front end can be your SaaS, software as an application. Your back end can be your PaaS, platform as a service. So whatever you require, that is your choice, and then you are going to be connected with the cloud storage device. So here all your storages is going to take place in the form of files, in the form of blocks, in the form of tables or records, how the data is going to be stored here. Okay, so in this first, which is there, the one that is the application software which is deployed on the web platform. Okay, and it is going to be established by two ready-made environments which are called as front-end instance and which is called as back-end instance. You can see your uh, cloud consumer developer, which is referred as one, is connected to two instance environments. Okay, so these are your ready-made environment. Okay, backend instance environment and front-end instance environment. So in backend and front-end, both of them, there are going to be software installed, there are going to be application installed, there are going to be many services installed, which is going to be. Okay, then into your third, which you can see there is a cloud consumer, that is your end user. Okay, so basically he's the one who is going to interact, he's going to log in into this front end instance and then do some sort of processing. This processing is going to be saved into your backend, and again it is going to be saved into your cloud storage devices. So here your cloud consumer is going to log in with the credentials given to it. It is going to use those services, it is going to access some piece of code, and everything is going to be saved in your cloud storage monitor. Okay, then we have a fourth, that is your application softwares which are running on your front end and the back end. Both are going to be updating each other. All the information is going to be saved at both the places. Okay, so there is a persistent storage. Okay, like all the data, whatever is going from front end to back end will be checked against, and final changes will be saved into your cloud storage. So fifth is your cloud storage monitor, where it is storing all the updates for the day, whatever transactions have taken place, whatever accessing has been taken place by your consumers. Okay, so your cloud consumer developer is one who is designed this front end instance and back end instance, and through this instance, or the cloud consumer is giving its input and it is getting its task completed. Okay, so that is referred as your cloud services. Okay, so that's it for the day. Thank you, everyone. In the next lecture, we are going to start with our unit 2. With this, we have completed our unit 1 successfully.